Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Journal. I'm your host, Daniel Diaz.
And I'm Steve Matassa. On today's show, we have some stories that will entertain you and educate you.
And later on in the show, we'll have a special performance. We have a beatboxer in the studio today and a rap artist that are ready to make you bounce. But first, Steve, let me ask you a question. What do you think of when I say skateboarding?
Grinds, nollies, kickflips. I eat, breathe, and sleep skateboarding.
Then you're going to love our first story. I went out to try to find a new skate park for all you skaters out there, and this is what I found. Kickflips, grinds, and ollies. These are all skateboarding tricks that you can find here at the Markham Skate Park. This park has been open for a little bit over a year now, but before then, these city youth have been using their driveways to practice their tricks. Today we meet with two brothers who are frequent visitors to this park and see why they keep wanting to come back.
I started skating at the end of high school, around grade 11. I'm about 21 now, so I started skating around 17. So I've been skating for a while, but I haven't been that serious into it. Maybe about 4 or 5 years, on and off, maybe in the summertime, just as a hobby. I try to go to skate park maybe twice a month, at least. For the winter coming up, probably like once every 2 months. But in the summertime, I was here maybe about 4 or 5 times a week. It's really fun here.
With the closest skate park about 40 minutes away, it's no wonder why these skaters have something to smile about.
I'm 15 right now, so I can't really drive. And for the past like 3 years, I haven't really been able to get to a skate park until they built this one. And now it's like maybe like 10 minutes away that I can get my brother to drive me here.
Some pictures of the park include a 6-foot bowl and 6-foot spine, 3x3 step stairs, a street course, and plenty of other obstacles for skaters to enjoy.
There's a lot of things you can do here. Like if you compare it to Commerce Skate Park, you can like Commerce Skate Park doesn't have that much to do, but here you can like ollie the gap. There's mad rails you can board slide. There's like ledges you can 50-50, crazy pads you can mani, and like yeah.
Although the park is open to the public, there are still some guidelines. There are no light posts, so skating is only permitted during the day. Also, there are to be no vandalism of any kind.
What I like about this skate park, I started off actually just skating that little ledge right there. That's all I could skate when I was, 18 years old. And every single time I went here, you see little 6-year-old kids riding these half pipes. So it kind of motivated me to do a lot better, to get a lot more tricks. So I guess if you have that kind of personality, you have that kind of attitude to get better, this kind of skate park will challenge you and you'll get a lot better through time.
Okay, well, if you want to check out this park or do a little tricks yourself, it's located on Bullock Drive in Markham, just north of the Markville Mall. I'm Daniel Diaz, and I'm going to try to do me some tricks now. See you later.
Welcome back. Dan, do you do any skateboarding?
Well, I try to kick, push, and coast, but never really happens for me. I'm more of a scooter kind of guy, and I like to bike.
Bike? Well, you like Aubrey's story about bike messengers. Check it out.
Bicycle couriers, and putting their lives on the line is all part of a day's work.
To find out more about these road warriors, we took to the streets to hear about some of their crashes, their close calls, and ways to stay safe.
We caught up with Jamie, who explained to us one of the biggest hazards, a door prize.
When a passenger doesn't look into the rear view mirror and opens up a door and you happen to be kind of right there, and that can cause some serious injuries. It's also like traffic changes from cars and cabs.
You ever taken any spills, any white coats?
Oh, definitely, yeah, for sure.
Got a door prize?
Oh, no, I've never taken a door prize. I've never won that one.
Mike, who has been on the job for over 12 years, shared one of his experiences with us.
I was about 2 months into the job. I was going down Lakeshore on my way home, and this woman did a U-turn and cut out in front of me, and I hit her front end and flipped over and landed on my head.
It may seem extremely daunting, but there are some tried and true methods to stay safe.
What I look out for usually is doors opening and car horns, and even just the sound of a car, whether it's close or not to where I am on the road. A lot of right-hand turners don't even put their signal on. Like, they might be kind of stopped or at an intersection and you're coming up and you're not sure what they're doing. So you always have to be aware of that kind of stuff.
You have to be able, you need a lot of patience. And if you don't, because I find my patience get very short out there. So the more patience you have, the better off you are, because if you get angry at everybody, then you fight, 10 fights a day.
I quickly realized that it takes a special kind of person to perform this job. And that person is...
Fearless moron. No.
After speaking with veteran rider Dennis, it's obvious to see that this job isn't meant for everybody.
And when it comes to injuries, well, that's just another storyline. And also had some rashes on my elbow. I've had some knee scuffs, minor injuries. But I heard it from other couriers who get it much, much worse than I do. So be safe and keep your head up.
After hearing some of those stories, it's a wonder why anybody would want to continue that dangerous line of work. So next time you're on the streets of downtown Toronto, be alert and watch out for bike couriers.
Welcome back to the Journal. Now here at the Journal, us hosts have the luxury of a prompter, so if I forget my lines or my cues, I got something to turn to. But what if that prompter was taken away from me? I'd have to either memorize my lines or improvise, which can be a pretty funny thing, if you just look at Kevin Wedge's story on the Bad Dog Theater of Improv.
Hi there, I'm Kevin Wedge reporting for the Journal. We're standing here in front of the Bad Dog Theater to find out what is improv and what's it all about. So without any further ado, let's go in and check it out.
Improv is an art form, like theater, like any kind of painting, sculpture. What's special about it is that the moments we create are fleeting. They exist only now, here and now, and then they're gone forever.
My tears weren't salty like normal people's. They were just like these wet, like streams and streams, like I'm some sort of hideous monster.
Improv is special because, unlike theater or film, there's no great example that you can point to and say, aha, that's an excellent piece of improv. When film, there's Citizen Kane or The Godfather. With theater, there's the works of Tennessee Williams or Shakespeare. But with improv, there is nothing like that. The only improv that exists in consciousness really is maybe Whose Line Is It Anyway, in the general populace. But it's wide open, and everybody's creating their own ideas of what it is. And some people now are creating dramatic improv. It's not comedic at all. And it's fascinating. So the styles run the complete gamut.
At the end of the lane. Okay, strike. They're spare. Preferably a strike. Preferably a strike, yes. Preferably a strike.
I got into comedy because, pretty much I've got a massive insecure ego that needs to be constantly fed.
Yeah!
And it provides me with a lot of necessary instant gratification and satisfaction of working with other people who are usually much more together than I am.
Curse you, mother's jeans!
Well, what keeps me performing is people laughing, and the free beer you usually get after the show really helps.
Yes, that does help.
Yeah.
Would you like some water? Look at there's like cups in here.
It's a sink. You see these all the time. This is nothing new to you.
This is, this is just so much nicer than my apartment. Watch this. Watch it. Yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta say.
One quality that seems to really stand out among improvisers is that they're genuinely nice people. And it makes sense because improv is a team sport. There are few people, David Shore is one, who improvises by himself or can improvise by himself, but generally it's a group experience. And the same qualities that make someone a genuinely nice person, you know, they're open, they're friendly, they're engaging, are the same qualities that make good improvisers.
At an improv show, you could have a moving scene between a husband and their wife having to deal with a serious situation, and it can be funny. You could also have that husband and wife in that moving situation attacked by a raptor!
I would say to people, aren't you tired of going to the same club every Thursday, Friday night, getting drunk with the same people, doing the same thing? Why don't you try something different that's cheaper and it's going to make you laugh and happy?
Should. Thanks. I will.
See?
Better.
Nice.
You're right.
We do shows. We're open 6 nights a week now, doing shows. 1 night a week is rentals, but the rest of it is all our productions. We do classes. Right now we're running 11 classes, which I think makes us the second largest improv school in the country.
The Bad Dog Theater is
top notch.
But it's a very supportive environment. I find it's got a really strong community feel within the comedy scene, because it's a very broad and diverse comedy scene in the city. Mm-hmm. And the Bad Dog, not only does it have a niche of just being a very good improv education and performance center.
That's the end of me. Before you go, you got just one more thing to do. Let's shoot one together for the road. I provide you oxygen starvation. Yeah!
Wow. I don't know about you guys, but I see a lot of improv in my near future. So this is Kevin Wedge from the Journal saying, I'll see you later.
Now that's funny. What do you think, Steve?
That was entertaining and all, but I'm more of an action guy. Martial arts fights like those guys in the UFC. Guys like Anderson Silva, Rich Franklin, the Brawlers, the Jiu-Jitsu fighters going at it. I met a couple of guys that train like Silva and Franklin, hoping to one day be in their shoes. Take a look.
As you can see. Wow, you better be. Ratio Shogun Hua. Nice elbows.
All three judges score this contest 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, Frank Mir.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Journal.
Streets of downtown were swarmed with hundreds of people the other day. Everyone was there checking out all the art exhibits at the annual Scotiabank Nuit Blanche. This festival had everything from paintings to music to theater plays. The Journal's Oszkar Bandi reports.
Contemporary art and performances in Yorkville. I'm Oszkar Bandi, and this is Nuit Blanche. Originally conceived in Paris, Nuit Blanche is an annual contemporary art event spread out across downtown Toronto. Starting at 7 in the evening on September 29th and going until morning, the Scotiabank-sponsored event attracted over 500,000 people. Wandering through the crowds, it felt more like a sports event rather than an art thing. It was the elitist in me. So I set out to find some artists that were involved, either directly or through independent projects.
I've always been a free thinker and always done things on my own, never depended on anyone else. And maybe that's why I ended up as an independent. But I think that what they did in this particular event was extraordinary. I mean, they organized it so well. And I mean, they've got signage that's incredible, and everybody knows exactly where you are and what you're doing. And it really helped this year even more than last year. I mean, last year I had people right to the sidewalk as well. This year was the same deal. And it's been really quite incredible.
It quickly became very apparent that the event revolved around interactivity between the art and the audience.
When we were conceiving the idea, one of the most important things was we just wanted to do something that really involved the audience as participants. We're hoping that people will be open to the idea of sharing something that they've kept to themselves, that they're not comfortable telling family or friends, that they'll be able to unburden themselves of whatever these feelings or secrets are to the total stranger who's in the booth. And just kind of take a weight off their shoulders and be able to kind of maybe help them move forward with their life in some small way.
Equals no legal functions there.
So you go inside the booth and say, I love you to your video camera, and you're supposed to come out of the slide, but because of the safety issue, you cannot do that tonight. And you're saying, I love you will be projected on the wall. That's the concept.
By 4 in the morning, the crowds were still roaming around the city. Half of them intoxicated, while the other half barely awake. It no longer mattered what was going on. People just wanted to be a part of it.
It was like part of it like last year too, but like more and more people coming. Like the weather is nice and it's unbelievable. Like it's late at night. Like you're still like line to get into a piece is incredible.
I was surprised at like the outpouring actually. A lot of smiles, a lot of people laughing and stuff and saying that they're appreciating it, which is weird because they've been lining up for like 60 minutes.
So it's completely dependent on what they bring to it. Like the audience is actually 50% or more of the project.
Because even though I was lining up, it was still like I don't know, wonderful to see everyone so happy and out on the street. It's really, really, really rare to have that many people on the street. So that's good.
Yeah, I liked it. I wish it was more than once a year though.
With dawn slowly approaching, it was time to call it a night. Nuit Blanche was not just about showcasing art, it was about the experience of being involved.
That was awesome. I can't wait to check it out next year. But first, I'm going to throw it to Dan with today's Consumer Report.
Thanks, Steve. As a college student myself, we all share the same stress of assignments, projects, and exams, but most of all, expenses. Our reading material and equipment usually would take 2 paychecks to purchase. However, our reporter P has found ways to save us a few bucks, especially here at the CCC.
ways where you can save $1 or $2. Number 1, don't park at the school. Parking at the CCC costs $201 per semester. In a 3-year program, you're paying well over $1,200. That's a lot of money because you can park on any side street around the school for free. Kurt O is a current student at the CCC. With the high prices of tuition, Kurt has to save money any which way he can.
How do you find parking spots? Well, I find parking spots by just, driving around the area.
Is it close to the school?
Yeah, it's close to the school because I gotta get to the school on time. You know what I mean? For example, this spot over here, it's where I usually park. It beats paying at the school.
It definitely does. And if you ever do park in visitors, make sure you pay because you will get a ticket. Busted! Riding your bicycle is also a great way to cut your spending. Meet James Abbeyfade. He rides to school every day.
What are some ways you save money while attending Centennial?
Well, one of the ways is I bring my lunch from house because the food that they sell in school is kind of expensive. And the other way I save money is I bought a bike, so I don't have to be spending transport fare every day.
This brings us to number 2. Don't eat at the caf. The cafeteria is a great place to socialize, but not to eat, because it's quite pricey, and at the end of a meal, you're never satisfied.
Do you know of any cheap places that sell food around the school?
Yeah, cheap places to eat. Yes, I do. There's one by. It's by the school. It's a cheap Chinese joint, and they have good eats at discount prices.
The number 1 Chinese restaurant is located on Pape Avenue, just south of Mortimer on the west side. They have an everyday lunch special from 11 to 3. For under $7, you get a drink, a soup, and a big plate of Chinese food. Doesn't that look good? So try the number 1 Chinese food restaurant. They even serve beer for only $2.50. This brings us to number 3. Don't rush into buying school products. Do some research before buying books and school accessories. Some students have bought supplies that they never use. Ask students who are ahead in your program. The price of these supplies don't come cheap either. At the end of your program, you might end up with a lot of books.
Have you ever felt like you wasted your money on school supplies?
Yes, I believe I have. In the first semester, when I bought the book, the next year I want to sell it back, but they had a new edition of it, so it's my mistake. I have the book now.
And there you have it, folks. Follow those 3 ways, and I'll guarantee you'll save yourself a whole lot of money. This is Pouria from the Journal, signing off.
Welcome back. Now we promised you a performance. One is a rapper and the other is a beatboxer. Together, they rock the crowd. They've been doing shows all over Toronto. They've gained recognition as well as fan base. These young talents are up and coming, so let's see what they're made of. Please put your hands together for Spitz and Charisma.
What up to everybody watching out there? Basically, me and Spitz, we love our hip-hop. We're all about love, respect, living life to the fullest. You know what I mean? Life is too short, people. So, yo, what up, Spitz?
What up, Charisma?
Let's show them how we do. It goes a little something like this. Hit it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the sounds you're about to hear are 100% vocals. What 100% vocals? Boom, 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 boom.
Drop that beat, Spitz. Oh, for real, okay. One of the best beatboxers in T-Dot. This man's a legend. Goes by the name of Spitz. Okay. Give me a little something.
What are you gonna do with all them beats inside
Break it
your
down,
mouth?
break it down.
I'ma make them shout. Boom, 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 boom.
Give them some grinding. Grind on them. Show them how we do our real hip hop. You know what I mean?
Grinding.
Oh, he wants to give you some reggae.
All the good wine when pick it for more. All the good wine when pick it for more. All the good wine when pick it for more. From up rhythm, up the damn.
Okay. Oh, he's bringing out the trumpets.
What about MCs in a beatbox? No, what about MCs in a what about beatbox?
This is what we're about. This is what we do. Hello?
Hey, yo, Charisma.
Yo, what up, Spitz?
Tell me about that girl you met the other day, Mom.
What? Let me tell you all the story about this girl don't want to know me. I can tell you that deep inside that she ain't no fake or phony. But hold up, yo, it's me and Spitz, the new generation, Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick. Just imagine if nobody disrespected anyone. Imagine if everyone just respected everyone. Imagine if there was no such thing as TV. We could do more and we wouldn't be lazy. Imagine no Jay-Z, Nas, Big or Pac. Basically, what I'm saying is there's no hip-hop. Just imagine if nobody killed each other. And instead of taking lives, we would heal each other. Just imagine we can live in peace every day. People think that I was born to teach every day, but me, I'll never look at it as teaching or preaching. I rap every day, I do it for one reason. The 5 and the 4, the 3, 2, 1. The show from Charisma and Spitz is all done. What? Peace. Respect.
All right. So let me ask you a few questions. Like, what inspired you to get into all this, the beatboxing and the MCing? What got you guys into that?
Okay, well, with me, it's just, I love music ever since I was a kid, you know what I mean? And I was given a gift by God, so I want to give it out there, I love my hip-hop, and I'm going to keep doing it,
Smith?
Ever since I was young in high school, we'd listen to music, and during lunchtime, we'd all beatbox, and there'd be some rappers out there. And it's just, we've been sticking to it ever since.
All right. Like, you go by Spitz, and you go by Charisma. I know that's not your original names. How'd you guys come about with the names?
I would always imitate beats when I was young, and my mom would catch me spitting all the beats, and she'd always tell me, Michael, don't spit, and it just stuck with me ever since.
Well, with me, the way I look at it is there's two sides to me, My real name is Brent, my other side's Charisma, so it's two sides. Charisma is my hip-hop side, so that's why I got the name.
All right. Now, where do you guys want to take this? Do you guys just do this as a hobby, or do you want to get known? Or?
Well, no, with us, it's our life, it's our love, it's our job, you know what I mean? Our job is to entertain people, try to make a positive difference a day at a time through our hip-hop,
All right. Well, that's cool. All right, well, that's all the time we have today, guys. I want to thank my guests, Spitz and Charisma. Thanks for joining us this week. I also want to thank my co-host, Steve, and thank you for a wonderful show. We'll see you next week on The Journal, and right now we're going to let Spitz and Charisma take us out. See you guys next week.
Let's do it. Check 1 2. Let's get the hip hop. Here we go. Yes, we start the flow. Yeah, we're from Scarborough. We love to freestyle. This ain't no 8 Mile. God gave us a talent.